going back to this example here where we're looking at what's happening on nitrous, and we have this really big file that is associated with the example that's on the MongoDB main site, and it walks through how to treat this like a database, especially with a Node.js driver. We'll be going over that in class, and I know it sounds like a lot, but I think this representation does look familiar, maybe. Certainly the extension on the file that represents maybe this JavaScript object notation probably makes sense to people. And ultimately, if we go in, and I've beefed this up a little, this example that I was looking at before, not that one. That one does just print out to the console, which when I'm looking at the server is really going to be down here. But this one is one, and again, we're going to walk through it in class, but it's got a little bit more beef than the last time. When I ran it in the last video, it was just replying to say, kind of down here on the server, which page was requested for, and that's great. But now I've added in a little bit of functionality to go into the database here and to find some restaurants. And I'm actually going to go through and I'm going to say, hey, I want to build this string. I think in the previous video, I just said, hello, tra-la-la-la-la. But this time I want to have a name, colon, and get the name of the restaurant. I want to say what kind of cuisine it's serving. I want to put that in too. I want it surrounded by curly brackets, and I want a comma in between. It's starting to look a little familiar, maybe. A little like the kind of data that we've seen when we've mocked up our data in JSON. And I'm really looking, again, there was a whole bunch of records in that database that we added in, but I'm really looking for only zip codes of this value. And there are lots of examples, and I'll make sure that you see them out there. And this is fairly boilerplate code, so not to jump into too many of the details, except that they're just saying find the restaurants, and I'm trying to build some kind of string out of the results. And down here on my server, which is a nitrous container, I actually can run this hello-http.js file. It's a Node.js file that's going to run on the server. And I can put it here at the command prompt on the server, and I can hit enter, and that's going to run it for me. And it's saying that it's fetching a whole bunch of information. It's going to spew that out down there. And then I can actually come over into my browser again. Sorry for so many tabs being opened up here. And I had already done this, but I can go ahead and I can enter a URL that will make the results appear. And I'm going to, just because that was pre-baked, I'm going to dare to open yet another tab. My poor friend Aaron. Oh, and isn't that a great, that's a Boolean celebration today on google.ca. But I can paste in the URL that I'm looking for. That's my nitrous container, and I'm asking for page 1. And I hit enter. And it really does create for me the data that is just the name of the restaurant that is in that certain zip code location and the type of cuisine. It's not perfect. It's not the JSON that I really need, to really make things happen. There's even a couple places where a name is missing. But at least you start to see a little bit about how once I create a back-end database on my server, I can ask for things through the URL and start to get some data that I can work with in my web application. And if you start to get that plumbing, you're really starting to love it. So we'll go through this example in class. I understand that a lot of this code is just absolutely, mumbo jumbo, and that's okay because it's really boilerplate. It's really this one right here where we're saying, hey, I want to find the restaurants. I want to find the restaurants that have the zip code that are this. And there's all sorts of ways that you can create your query and how you process the data that comes back from the query. But if you got that, then the keys to the kingdom are yours. Okay, so good luck with all of this.